by Mahima Vajrajani, and we'll take you through the next 1 hour of trade. Let's take a look at where the markets are this morning, and you have quite a bit of the momentum from the early part of the session that has been given up, at least at the broader end of the spectrum. You have the Nifty 50 that's holding on though, and 25,350 is being held with gains of about 0.4% or so for the Nifty 50. The broader markets have capitulated somewhat though. So pull up the intraday charts for the small cap index and for the mid cap index, just about flat for both of those indices from what I saw. There you go. So quite a bit of those gains, which were quite substantial at the start today, have been given up, and that is reflected in the market breadth, which has completely gone back to neutral territory. An equal number of advances and declines at this stage of trading. Does that change over the course of the day? Well, that is an important question to ask, because today is in fact the monthly expiry for derivative contracts, and you could see elevated volatility heading into close today. Joining in today to answer all of the questions that you have is Shahina Muqaddam, who's an independent market expert, and Kush Bora, who's a founder of kushbora.com. Thank you so much to the two of you as always for taking the time, and very good morning to you. Kush, I'll come to you first, very quickly, to give a sense of how you would position yourself or how you would trade today amidst this monthly expiry.
Morning, Alex. Morning, Shine, and morning to all the viewers. Well, I think the bias squarely is positive, but I think just for the day, I wouldn't create fresh long positions. The Nifty PCR has already hit 1.31, so it's already into a bit of overbought territories. Also, if you look at the call option congestion, you've got that building up near the 25,400 mark. So the risk reward ratio is not favorable for a fresh long on the upside. But yes, from a slightly medium term perspective, the view is very bullish. We could probably be seeing new highs on the index perhaps in the next 3 to 4 months. So all in all, the view is positive. Just for today, the risk reward ratio for a long trade is not favorable. So if you don't have one, avoid. If you did, continue holding on with a trailing stop loss near the 325 mark. If any dip comes about, you might as well take your profits.
So that's with regards to where the Nifty 50 is concerned, and of course keeping in mind the expiries as well. All right, our first caller for the day, Kiran, is calling in from Hyderabad. Kiran, a very good morning to you. How can we help you today?
Good morning, ma'am, and good morning, everyone. So, ma'am, before asking my query, just a small thing to know. Actually, I have been hearing that Nifty might break the all-time level highs from current levels.
Okay.
But I don't see the Nifty breaking its record level.
Okay.
As of now, because I think it will take one more result season. If the results might be better. It might perform well because the Nifty Bank, financials, IT, pharma, the real estate performed and is now consolidating. And the power pack and the FMCG and the EMS and every space is not performing up to its mark. Only some individual counters are performing. I think the froth is building up. Is it better to stay with cash?
Okay.
For good opportunities for the next 3 months? Is my query, ma'am. And then I would like to invest to be 3 lakhs now, today, in 2 specific counters, that is NTPC Green and State Bank of India.
Right.
Is it good to enter? I would like to know it from both the experts, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, understood your question, and that's a very good analysis, in fact, Kiran, that you've done. I'll take up both these questions separately. I'll take up the first question with Shahina. Shahina is looking to invest 3 lakh rupees in NTPC Green as well as SBI. How do you think he should divide his funds amongst the two? And if there's a better counter to invest in rather than these two, what would you recommend?
I would say NDTV Green is quite expensive at current level. They have got very good plans in the long term, but over the next quarter, they like to see the stock very quickly.
Sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you, Shaina, and because we couldn't really make out what you were saying, we'll have to fix the line so that we can hear what you're saying. But Kiran, if you're still on the call, I'm just curious about one. Okay, so he's dropped. But I was curious about why he was saying that he doesn't anticipate that there would be an all-time high on the Nifty 50. Incidentally, because there are a lot of chartists that anticipate that even as early as July, you could see 26,333, and I'm specifically talking about Lawrence Belanco, who has made that projection. And remember that the all-time high was around 26,277, if I'm not mistaken, for the Nifty 50. So Kush, very quickly, is there something that you're seeing on the charts that could push that down the line somewhat? Is it likely in July? It's going to be a long series in July.
So, Alex, the reason for giving it some more time rather than just a month, maybe 3 months or a little more, is purely because of the fact that there is a lot of volatility and a lot of uncertainty going on, especially from the foreign angle, and very specifically, I mean the Trump angle. If those things don't sort of play out, then the consolidation for the last 6 months that we saw, or rather from 6 months of September up until March, was very healthy. The trajectory on the way up is fairly smooth. I mean, it's not just one way up; it's had its pauses along the way, but it's fairly smooth in the sense that you've seen the dips being bought into. Also, to add to the fact that FIIs have been heavily short in the market, so any kind of short covering, and you're just looking at what about 1,000 points, upside on the Nifty for that new high to come in. So I wouldn't really put a timeline to it in the sense that it could happen in a month or three, slightly broad. But what's important is that the trend and the trajectory is upward. So if you haven't really invested up until now, it's not a bad idea to maybe consider even entering the markets at these levels and gun for another 1,000, maybe 1,200 points on the Nifty, significantly more on the Bank Nifty as well.
Okay. So that's the view on the benchmark. Very quickly, let's get Kiran's question answered with Shaina. Shaina, you were talking about NTPC Green and SBI. So he's wondering whether to invest at the current levels. 3 lakh rupees is what he wants to deploy.
These two both would not be my topics for now. One, NTPC Green, because it is expensive valuation. I would relook at it a couple of quarters down the line. And second one being
Unfortunate. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I think we're losing your audio, Shaina. You want to try one last time before we repatch the line? You were saying NTPC Green is expensive. SBI is not necessarily the best pick in your opinion in the banking space. But what would be then? No, we're having an issue with Shaina's line. We'll try and fix that as soon as we can. In the meanwhile, let's go across to the next question, and it's on TCS, which incidentally was a pick by one of our technical analysts in the morning. If I remember correctly, it was Shrikant who spoke about TCS as a pick. We've got Vasudev from Bengaluru, who's bought at levels of 3,512, and he's wondering whether the prospects are good for the long term. On the charts, Kush, what's the long-term view on TCS?
So, Alex, it's gone into a longish bit of a consolidation phase where on the downside you've got 3350 as the a lower end of the range, and about 3600, 3550, thereabouts as the upper end of the range. Now, as long as either side of the range is broken, it could continue in this direction. The volumes aren't really something impressive to write home. Momentum indicators also sideways. So what I would do is I would actually continue to hold on to this one with a stop loss near the lower end of the band, which is 3350. If that is broken, you should exit. If not, then you could see the stock hovering around these levels. And since his buying price is close to the upper end of the band, maybe he could exit at cost. Not very constructive just yet on the likes of TCS, given the kind of downward move then it's seen, and then now the consolidation that's going on for some time.
Okay, so that's with regards to where TCS stands. I'm moving on from a large cap IT to a mid cap IT, which is actually not a mid cap per se, but Coforge is the counter that I'm talking about. Bhupendra Mehta has bought in 350 odd shares, bought at 1690 levels. Wants to know if you can hold or sell. Kush, on the charts, we've been talking about IT throughout, and the entire Nifty IT has seen a bumpy ride in the past few odd weeks. But with respect to where Coforge stands, what are the charts indicating? What's the kind of support and resistance that you're seeing?
Mahima, if in the previous question you would have asked me what's the alternative, to TCS, I would have perhaps named Coforge. That's the kind of positive view I have on this one. If you see the move that it's made starting April from 1200 levels up until 1800, so splendid 50% returns in the last 2.5 months, 3 months alone. The move still continues. the volumes are starting to thin, but I think that is more to do with what's happened in the geopolitics in the last couple of weeks rather than anything else. On the whole, the trajectory is actually very strong for this one. There is a minor resistance at the 1950 mark where the rounding bottom formation will be complete. If that is taken out, and rather as and when that is taken out, you could actually see the stock bump up to 2200 as well. So I would continue holding on to Coforge, and now since he's sitting in a profit, my suggestion would be to put a trailing stop loss near the 1700 mark and continue to hold Coforge.
Okay. All right. Geeta is calling us from Bengaluru, and I believe, Geeta, you'd like to know about Torrent Power. Is that right?
Yes.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Yeah, very good morning. I bought a level of 1659, but now it is 1476. Shall I hold or sell?
Okay. And what's the time frame that you have in mind, Geeta?
6 months.
Okay, got it. Kush, coming to you, she's bought at 1659 as she's pointed out, and she's wondering whether to hold. What are the key levels to watch out for? Where do you see support, for example, and where would you place the stop loss?
So, Alex, my suggestion to Geeta would be to definitely continue holding on to this one. I can understand her pain and her plight because the stocks actually dipped a little. But if you take heart from the fact that it's been consolidating for the last 8 weeks around the 1375 mark, being the lower end of the band, it's actually rebounded about 5-6 times on a weekly chart, from those levels. So which is a healthy sign. So that being your stop loss, you should continue holding on. For the last 5 sessions, if you see, out of the 3 sessions have had a very impressive uptick in the volume, and the price action has also picked up. So yes, I think you should continue holding on to this one. Almost immediately, the first resistance comes at 1545. That's where the 200-day moving average is, and a supply zone as well. And once that is taken out, to 1640. So these are some of the levels on the upside that you could look at. The second level is also very close to a buying price. But if she holds on and keeps trailing her stop loss, she could well exit at cost or maybe in a minor profit in the coming 6 weeks, as she's mentioned. So I would continue holding on to Torrent Power, stop loss near the 1375, 30 rupees.
Okay, so that's with regards to where Torrent Power stands. Our next question is from Subhash, who's writing in from Bengaluru. He's purchased SBI Bank 800 odd shares at 855 a piece and looking for a 6 months time horizon. Wants to know if he can hold or sell at the moment. He's sitting on a loss of almost 49,000 odd rupees right now. Kush, what's the view like?
I think he'll have to be patient on this one because the stock is consolidating. The heartening fact is that it has a rising trend line resistance support rather, and that support comes in at 775 and 780 zones. The stock's been respecting that. Momentum's missing, and that's the bigger worry. So I think you should continue to hold on 770. Keep that as your stop loss. On the way up, you could look at 825, and once that is taken out, 850 as well as the next key levels. I think it's more of a patience game rather than anything else. Momentum missing, that needs to pick up. Otherwise, the medium-term structure is fairly intact.
Okay, so that's with regards to where SBI stands. Shahina, your quick view on the SBI fundraising because considering the fundraising will happen, the ROE is expected to go down because of that. What is your expectations with respect to where fundamentals stand for the counter?
Well, I believe the ROA will be anyway maintained above 1% over the medium term, take a year's view. And in terms of price to book also is very attractive. It's just about 1.2 times. The loan book as well as the deposit growth has been healthy. So I would stick with the levels that Kush has given. Keep a stop loss of 780 and it's good to go.
Okay, so that's with regards to where SBI stands. All right, our next caller, Pradeep, is calling in from Bengaluru. Pradeep, a very good morning to you. I believe you have a question on Reddington.
Yeah, madam. I'm having 100 shares of Reddington purchased at 156 rupees.
Okay.
So it's nearly doubled.
Right.
It's been 2 years. So should I hold on to it or should I book profits on it?
Okay. Did you see the fundamentals of the company while buying or did you see the charts?
Yes. Fundamentals.
Fundamentals. Okay, Pradeep, I got your question. I'll take this up with China. China, what's the view with regards to where Reddington stands?
It's a definite hold even as of now. The stock has given good performance last couple of quarters. But at the same time, if you see the numbers, the profit growth was substantial. If you see the fourth quarter numbers, the company is doing much better. It is moving towards the 1 lakh top of turnover type of levels, and I would say margins also improving. So it's a hold at current levels.
So it's a hold on Reddington. All right, the next question is on Alok Industries, and this is a relatively short-term question. And Raghavendra from Bengaluru's got it. He's bought 1,000 shares at a price of 29 rupees per share, and he's losing ground. And I know what Kush's strategy is on averaging. So the question is, should he hold on or should he exit at a loss?
Yes, Alex. So averaging is a no-no. As far as the levels go, I think he might be he might have to perhaps start booking some losses along the way. Luckily, that might just be at the higher side because now the stock's actually seen a good rebound. 200-day moving average around the 20 mark was a bit of a resistance today. It's taken out that level with with a very sharp uptick in the volume. But all of that said, there is a supply zone near the 24.50 mark. Once that is taken out, even 28, 29, the level that we spotted at, that zone remains a bit of a supply zone. So he could see some selling coming in. Now, since the stock is rebounding on the back of good volumes, suggestion is to hold with a stop loss at 20 or maybe just under. But I would also go ahead and suggest that keep booking profits along the way between this 24.50 to 29 zone. Don't wait for your buy price to come in because some supply pressure could push it sideways or maybe some declines along the way as well. So from 24.50 to about 29 onwards, you should start booking profit.
Okay, so that's with regards to where Alok Industries stands. Our next question is from Anil, who's writing in from Mysore. He's purchased KPIT Tech 50 odd shares, bought at 1305 a piece, sitting on a loss of roughly 1300 odd rupees, and wants to know if he can hold or sell at the moment. And this query is from a shorter term perspective. So Kush, I'll again come to you on this one. What is the kind of support and resistance that you're seeing on the charts for KPIT?
The view on KPIT is an exit. It's not been able to break out of some of the key resistance levels. Just to begin with, the most important one is at 1400, where the 200-day moving average is, and the stock's seen rejection at least about 3 to 4 times in the last as many months from those levels. On the way down, you're actually looking at about 1150, 1170 kind of levels, as support, where the stock has rebounded a couple of times. But the medium-term trend is downwards. Any attempt at an up move has been thwarted. So I would suggest an exit. Whatever loss is at the moment, you're better off taking that and exiting and perhaps redeploy somewhere else. But KPIT for now remains in.
Okay, so that's the view on KPIT Tech. We've got our next caller from Pune. Priyanka is calling us. Priyanka, very good morning to you. How can we help you today?
Yeah, very good morning. This is Priyanka calling from Pune. I have purchased some Havel shares a few days ago. Today it's going down.
Okay.
I just wanted to know the rally is again coming up for the Havel shares.
Okay, and when you bought it, Priyanka, can you tell me as to what you had in mind when you bought it? Did you buy it because of the fundamentals of the company, or did you buy thinking that you would hold it for a few months and then sell it?
Yeah. I purchased those shares based on the fundamentals of the company because this company has no debt almost.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what else
I just wanted to hold it for a few months.
Okay. Okay. Understood. Okay. So Shaina, it's an interesting question because it's bought on the fundamentals, but she intends only to hold for the short term. What would you say about Havells specifically?
Well, I do believe that going forward, Havells will do better. We have seen a bit of correction, but I think at current levels, it's better to continue to hold and keep a target of about even 1,700. Because I think in terms of volumes, given that the power sector is likely to do much better and they have got good even consumer durable products, I would say it's a hold at current levels.
At current levels for Havells is the view coming in from China. Our next question is from Bharat, who is writing in and wants to know about the future targets for Union Bank. He's writing it from Hyderabad, and this is from a longer term perspective, I believe. So I'll come to you on this one, China. Lots happening with that particular bank. Yesterday we heard about how the top management was demoted. What's the view like here, and what should one do if he's holding from a longer term perspective?
At current levels, it is better to continue to hold because in terms of valuation, it is one time. There's a lot of consolidation that is happening in the banking sector, and I think Union Bank could be one of them. So to that extent, it is a hold. In terms of growth also, they are picking up. Balance sheet also is improving. in terms of net NPAs coming down substantially. So it is a hold at current levels.
Union Bank of India in focus on account of fundraising as well. If I remember correctly, 3,000 crore rupees is what they, yeah, there you go. So 3,000 crore rupees in the way of fundraise. There are details as to where, or actually it's a total of 6,000, of which 3,000 is going to be in equity, 3,000 crore in bonds, and of that, a portion of that is going to be in additional tier 1 bonds. There you go, I remember correctly. All right. So, and by the way, in case you want to read any of that in more detail, the implications of that, you can check out the website ndtvprofit.com. Lalita is calling us from Hyderabad. Very good morning, Lalita. How can we help you today?
Hello.
Hi, Lalita. Please go ahead. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm holding Sonata Software Solutions.
Okay.
So can I hold it, or I just want to hold it for a long time. Is it good or not?
Okay. So when did you buy this?
I bought actually 3 months back.
Wow, so you made a substantial gain in a very short period of time. You want to hold for the long term. How have you defined that? Is it a few years? Is it more than 1 year?
It's more. It's just for 1 year. I'm guessing.
1 year time frame. Okay. So let me get you a view on the technicals then. So Kush, she's made a substantial gain in a short period of time, and so what should she do? Should she hold on for a period of 1 year?
First of kudos to her on buying the stock at the level at which she did. It's actually it's very close to the bottom that the stock had made, and has seen a good profit on that. So kudos to her courage on that. Now the stock has gone into a sideways zone. Since May, hasn't really seen a meaningful breakout. But the heartening fact is that any kind of down moves that you're seeing on the stock are on the back of very thin volumes. So my suggestion would be a hold. Also keep a stop loss or a trailing stop loss in her case, because she's in a profit, at the 395 mark, because that's a strong support zone. As long as the stock holds this current leg of consolidation, will be a healthy one and act as a launch pad for the stock to head towards 450, and once that is taken out, even a 495 as well. So continue to hold, but keep a trailing stop loss near the 395 mark.
Okay, so that's with regards to where Sonata Software stands. Our next question is from Krishnan, who is writing from Mumbai, saying that he has retired and he's holding 100 shares of Bharat Forge, bought at 1727 a piece since June 2024, and sitting on a loss of around 44,000 odd rupees, and wants to know if he can average at the current moment or not. Shaina, I'll come to you on this one. Bharat Forge, what are the views like?
I would say that it is better to average at slightly lower levels, but I think overall he can continue to hold. The levels he could average at would be about 1,120 type of levels. The company has got very good orders in defense also, and in terms of their raw material going forward, it is possible that that would be it would be more aligned. The US market remains an issue out there, because of which we've seen the stock consolidating rather than moving up, because of the tariff issue with the US. And Bharat Forge does have a lot of products that go to the US market. So the tariffs and the sales in the US will determine whether the stock can see the rally, going forward from here immediately, or take some time to move up. So to add, it is better to add at dips rather than add right away.
Add at dips is the view coming in on Bharat Forge if you want to average out. All right, our next caller, Deep, is calling in from Hyderabad. Deep, a very good morning to you. How can we help you today?
Hi, Deep. This is Shashi, and Deep, I have 200 shares of Dixon Technologies.
Okay.
With an average price of 15,500.
Okay.
And I would like to know whether I can buy at current levels for accumulating for some more quantity. Because on the other side, there are more investor meets are going on, and promoter is selling his stake to the mutual funds, and some other brokerage firms are downgrading it. So I'd like to know whether I should buy it or just hold it, whatever I am having right now, the position, or else should I split it off at this position?
Understood.
Because this is just in 2% of my portfolio. So
This is okay. This is just 2% of your portfolio. Okay, got your question. I'll take this up with China. China, what he's saying is that, and the brokerage that he's talking about was Phillip Capital, which is given a target price of 9085 for something like a Dixon Tech, which is currently trading at around 14,000 odd levels. What would you reckon? Because he's bought at elevated levels per se. Should he average out, average down, or should he continue to hold?
I would say he should, partly book some of his losses and switch to some other sector stock. Basically, Dixon Technologies, they are pretty expensive at current levels. So for it, the stock to actually move up from here is tough. Also, in terms of the mobile phones, they were talking of big numbers. I do not know going forward how much of it will translate in the next couple of quarters. So while the long-term business is good, EMS business is good, as well as the products that they have and for the future potential is good, but valuations are too expensive. So I would partly book my loss or profit and, add some other stock to my portfolio.
Okay, all right. So that's a view on Dixon Tech, and hopefully that answers your question. We've got more to talk about, but we have to slip into a very quick break. Do stay with us. We'll be back on the other side to take more of your questions.
Sambhav Steel Tubes Limited now proposes an initial public offering of its equity shares. The 100% book built offer is being offered at a price band of Rs 77 to Rs 82 per equity share of face value of Rs 10 each. Offer opens on Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. Offer closes on Friday, June 27th, 2025. For risk involved and other details, please refer to the red herring prospectus dated June 19th, 2025, which is available on the website of the company, the SEBI, the BRLMs and the stock exchanges.
गोल्ड क्लास ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफ्लेक्टिव ग्लास लगाओ, धूप की गर्मी को दूर भगाओ और बिजली का बिल भी बचाओ।
Sambhav Steel Tubes Limited now proposes an initial public offering of its equity shares. The 100% book built offer is being offered at a price band of Rs 77 to Rs 82 per equity share of face value of Rs 10 each. Offer opens on Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. Offer closes on Friday, June 27th, 2025. For risk involved and other details, please refer to the red herring prospectus dated June 19th, 2025, which is available on the website of the company, the SEBI, the BRLMs and the stock exchanges.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Sambhav Steel Tubes Limited now proposes an initial public offering of its equity shares.
watching Ask Profit, a show that gets all your stock-related queries answered. For viewers who are just tuning in, you can either call us or WhatsApp us. And before I move on to those queries, quick look at how the broader markets are doing. They've turned into red. The mid-cap 150 is trading 0.1% lower. The small-cap 250 is also trading around 0.2% lower. So keep an eye out there. Plus the Nifty 50, of course, we'll be seeing a monthly expiry today. So keep your eye out there as well. All right, our next caller for the day then, Snigdha is calling in from Hyderabad. Snigdha, a very good morning to you today. How can we help you?
Hi, good morning everyone. So my question is regarding network technologies.
Okay.
So I'm holding 50 shares of network technologies at 1885 rupees. So I would like to hold it for 1 month.
Okay.
And I also want to know regarding Nestle, if I purchase it today, will I get the bonus shares or not?
So I'll be able to choose only one stock for you, Snigdha. You'll have to choose whether you want to do
But you can
network
answer
tech.
the question on Nestle.
All right. So yes, because the bonus has been issued today, you'll have to see and wait for the cutoff date to come. But mostly it will not, take place today. So if you purchase today, you'll not be eligible for the bonus because it was already announced before. So
when's the record date?
Record date they've not announced yet. So we'll have to wait to see as
if
to
she
when.
has it during the okay.
No, but what she's saying is if she buys it today and if today is the record date that they announced, since the AGM is still going on, we'll have to wait and watch out
but
for
record
us
date will be in the future, na? Abhi tak announced nahi hua hai.
They've given the date when the counter will be credited to your account. So I think we'll have to check that, Snigdha. So we'll get back to you on that one for sure. But with regards to where network technology stands, Kush, 1 month's chart, what are they indicating?
Well, I think there is some consolidation going on. The stock had actually made a good up move, but that gave way. I think we should continue holding on to this one because it's not too far from Snigdha's buying price. I think there's a good support zone near the 1775, 1750 zone. From where the stock has rebounded. So I think you should continue to hold on. I think on the upside, you're looking at targets of 1925 once that is taken out to 2050 as well. So the kind of rebound that the stock has taken is encouraging. Also, the down moves were on very low volumes. So I think the stock will resume the up move that it had that it started in early May. So all in all, I think the trajectory looks fairly encouraging. Momentum is missing and hence a bit of a hiccup. But other than that, I think the medium term trend is intact. You should continue to hold. As I said, with the stop loss around the 1750, 1775 zone.
So, while that question was being answered, I must confess I did not listen to Kush's answer because we were both frantically looking at the update from Nestle. And the update for you, Snigdha called right now. Snigdha, essentially the announcement came today for the board approval for the bonus share. And so I hope you're listening to this because I think you've dropped the phone. But what that means is that at some point over the course of the next few weeks, there will be a record date for this bonus issue. If you hold shares before that or on that record date, which means that you would have to buy it before that date, then you will receive the bonus share issue. I think what Mahima was referring to was that you will be credited those shares by August. That's correct. Okay, fine. Let's take the next question. Swiggy is the name of the counter that we're talking about, and it's a short-term question that is being asked. Rajiv Bhatia wants to know. He's writing in from Bengaluru. He's bought at a price of 525, and he's looking to hold for the next 1 to 3 months. And what the outlook is what he's searching for. Kush, I'm just going to take a chance. Do you have enough data on this to give us a view?
Yeah, for a 1 to 3 month perspective, yes, there's enough. My own see that the trajectory of the stock is upwards. It's it's made a good rebound. It's taken out some key resistance levels, on the back of good volumes. My only hitch is that his price is above the 500 mark, 525. I think you mentioned that could perhaps take some time coming, maybe more than 3 months. The reason for that is that if you look at the bottom of about 300, the stock made in early May. The stock's already up about 33 odd percent, right? So any further up move from here on will actually put it in overheated territories, which it is very close to actually. So the trajectory is upwards. I think there will be some bumps along the way as well. But if he can extend his time horizon to maybe 6 to 9 months, then I think he is very well, in for seeing his fine price. So I would suggest maybe extend your time frame if you can. If not, you might just have to settle for a slightly lesser loss than you are in currently. Anyway, the support zone for the stock at the current juncture is close to the 380 mark. So if the stock falls below that level, you should exit because this rally will then perhaps fizzle out. So 380 is your stop loss. Continue to hold. You might want to extend your time frame to see your buying price.
Okay, all right. So that's view on Swiggy. Vishwas is calling us from Mysuru. Vishwas, very good morning to you. How can we help you today?
Hi, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, Varun Beverages stock 200 quantity in average price of 408, profit in 4,000 last, sir. Exit till or what, sir? Technical analysis, please.
Got it, sir. Let me ask your question to Kush. Kush, it's a pretty straightforward question. 200 shares bought at a price of 480 rupees per share. What's the outlook?
And a very, very straightforward answer for Vishwas, exit. The VBL has been on my short list or rather shorting list for some time. I've initiated a couple of short calls as well on Varun Beverages, mentioned that on the channel as well. If you see, it's in a downward sloping channel for some time now. Support zones are fairly deep, close to the 410 zone. So no point holding on to this one. My suggestion on VBL, very clear, exit.
This is the view on Varun Beverages where charts are concerned. All right, our next question is on Ashok Leyland. Kantibai is asking this question. He's purchased 46 odd shares at 245 a piece and wants to know if he can continue to hold or not. China, your view on Ashok Leyland?
Yeah, he should continue to hold. They are getting good orders from defense, as well as I would believe that their margins should improve going forward. So it is a hold.
Okay, we're suddenly getting a lot of questions from Pune, Amchi Pune. Let us know and shout out if in case you are from a particular region, because that will help us identify who you are. We've got our next question incidentally from Shivats, who's writing in from Kolkata, and he's got REC, which he's bought 4,500 shares of. 245 is the buy price, and he bought this 2 years ago. He sold 6,500 units at 480 to 500, but he's currently holding 4,500 shares. So he's sitting on a pretty decent profit. He's asking what the outlook is for the next 3 years. I do remember that PFC, Power Finance Corporation of India, China, had announced that it would be raising funds via debt over the course of the next 12 months. What is the outlook on REC? And I'm pretty sure that it would also be able to take advantage of the lower interest rates. And so for it, the spread should improve.
Yeah, absolutely. As well as in terms of valuation, also REC is very well positioned versus some other finance companies. Pure power play where power is, going to have good growth going forward. REC has very good order book position, as well as in terms of valuation. As I mentioned, it's a dividend play also. Dividend yields is pretty high. So I would say, you can also add REC at current levels if you're looking at the medium to longer term.
Okay, so that's with regards to where REC stands and buys the view from China. Our next caller, Harish, is calling in from Visakhapatnam. Harish, a very good morning to you today. How can we help you?
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, Harish.
I'm having Tanla platform 100 shares at the rate of 739.
Okay.
Can I hold or exit?
Okay, and Harish, you bought this from a longer term perspective, or did you see the charts while buying the counter?
Buying the counter. Seeing the chart.
By seeing the charts. Okay, Kush, your view on Tanla platforms?
So I would suggest a hold on this one. The stock's seen a very interesting and a very sharp up move, and hence the consolidation for the last 10 sessions. Also the 200-day moving average. And there's also convergence of the 20 and the 200-day moving average. But it's now starting to shape up more like a golden crossover when the 20-day moving average could well take out the 200-day moving average. And that's technically a very positive sign. So I would suggest a hold. Incidentally, the next major resistance for the stock also comes in close to the 745, 750 zone, which happens to be his buying price. So there is a good possibility that he might get to exit at his cost price, if not in profit. So a hold on Tanla, slightly deepish stop loss, comes in close to the 610 mark. So that is where he should keep his stop loss and continue to hold.
So the next question is from Pratap Shinde, who's writing in from Pune, and he's got JP Power Ventures, which he's bought at levels of 18.4 rupees. Now, the stock is currently trading very close to the buy price at 17.9. But if I remember correctly, this is part of that JP Associates group. And there was a story that my colleague Vishwanath Nair had this morning that said that it could be in the process of being bought. So if this is an acquisition candidate, just wondering, Shahina, what your view on this particular counter would be. Would you hold on or would you exit at this point?
I would say it is a hold at current levels. There is some resolution happening, and it will happen in the near term. So it is better to hold on. I think the assets that JP Power has, it is likely to, see the stock price moving up from here. And it's you can hold it, keep a stop loss of around 16 rupees if you would like. But otherwise, it's a hold from here on.
Hold for JP Power from Shahina. All right, our next question is from Riddhi Jain, who's writing in from Pune. She's bought Ola at 100 rupees is what she's saying, and she's sitting on a loss of almost 3,000 odd rupees and wants to know if she can hold or sell at the moment. She's holding 50 odd shares. Shahina, what's your view like on Ola?
I think it's extremely risky. There are other better stocks available. I used to be very positive on the stock, but unfortunately it has not delivered, and things are not looking too good for it going forward. So I would say it's an exit.
An exit on Ola. Things are not looking good. Indeed, the Vahan data that came out, which is essentially the retail sales data, the most recent print, seems to suggest that it is losing a market share in the two-wheeler space, in the two-wheeler electric vehicle space. TVS Motor, by the way, is climbing in that space, so watch out for that as well. We've got our next caller. Ravi is calling us from from Hyderabad, asking about PNB Housing. Ravi, very good morning to you. How can we help you today?
Very good morning, Alex.
Please go ahead.
My query is on PNB Housing Finance. I'm holding 50 credits, bought at 1064.
Okay.
So, shall I hold or shall I sell?
Okay, give me some context here, Ravi. Did you buy it for the long term? Did you buy it based on the fundamentals?
Yeah, based on fundamentals, I bought it, and my time horizon is next 1 year.
Sorry, I can't make out what you're saying. Your time horizon is?
1 year, next 1 year.
1 year. Okay, Shahina, is this the best pick, PNB Housing? There are several players in the housing finance space, and among them Bajaj Housing Finance. There's also a good opportunity to ask you about the IPO that's underway. A lot of people paying attention to HDB, not necessarily a housing finance company. It's pretty diversified. But would you subscribe to the IPO, and what's your specific view on PNB Housing?
The IPO, in my view, it's a bit expensive versus the other finance companies in that space. So I would prefer a Geo finance versus HBD. In terms of PNB Housing, I think the valuation is very attractive. So in that space, it's about 1.8 times book, which is attractive. You could also look at Goodco. So I think both these stocks look good in the housing space at current levels.
By the way, incidentally, I didn't know, but now I do, and now you will as well. HDB Financial is going to be the stock that we focus on Know Your Company today, and it's in focus. It should give you a sense of whether or not to subscribe to the IPO. Today is the second day. Today is the second day. Today is the second day of the IPO. It hasn't been subscribed by a very large amount. And so you should watch for whether or not you get allocation. First of all, whether or not to buy. According to Shahina, who just spoke about it, she thinks that it's a little expensive. But we've got an analyst on Know Your Company as well. We spoke to the management yesterday, and you can find all of that on the website or in fact on our YouTube channel. But you can tune in live at 11:30 to Know Your Company so that you can understand what the rating that NDTV Profits research team has given to this particular stock. We've got our next question from Bengaluru. And Priyanka is asking, Jyoti CNC is the name of the counter. She's bought at levels of 1,213 rupees per share. Should she hold or add more at the current level is the question. Kush, on the charts, the stock is currently at 1,125. What's the view?
So, she'll have to have a longish kind of a time frame for this. And by that, I mean 6 to maybe 9 months. On the whole, if you ask me, the stock's actually gone sideways. The weekly chart also suggests that a couple of times the stock has seen rejection around the 1300 mark. So that's a supply zone at a much higher level though. But yes, from a near-term perspective, continue to hold. A stop loss will be close to the 1050 mark. And on the way up, there could be resistances around the 1200 and 1250 zones. But I think that should that should fairly cover her buying price as the stock starts to move higher. As I said, she might just have to keep a slightly longish time frame, 6 to 9 months. If she's fine with that, then yes, she should continue to hold with a stop loss near the 1050 mark.
Okay, so that's with regards to where Jyoti CNC stands. Our next caller, Akshata, is calling in from Bengaluru. Akshata, a very good morning to you today. How can we help you?
Hi, good morning. So I'm holding around 50 shares of CDSLs and I bought it at around 1964 rupees.
Okay.
And now that I'm trailing under losses, so should I have to average it or should I sell it or keep it on hold? I just wanted idea on that.
Okay, and this is from what time horizon perspective?
So this I've been holding for past 1.5 months, so
Okay.
I just wanted to check on that.
And you want to continue to hold it for how much more time?
Maybe for another 4 to 5 months.
4 to 5 months. Okay, Akshata, I got your query. Kush, what are the charts indicating for CDSL?
I continue to hold CDSL, no doubt about it. There has been the profit booking round that came about, which took the stock from 1800 all the way down until about 1650. But mind you, that was on the back of the serious overheating that the stock, in fact, a lot of stocks from the capital market space had already seen. So my suggestion would be continue to hold on. This is a healthy sign, the profit booking that the stock has witnessed. It's creating room for the next leg of up move for the stock. 1625, 1650, a good support zone that should act as your stop loss, for this rally, this leg of up move. If that is sustained, then yes, the stock is actually looking at 1950, perhaps even 2100 as the next levels of resistance or targets. In her case, so CDSL, the kind of moves that it's seen is a hold in my books. 1650, 1600, those could act as your stop losses from from a 4 to 5 month perspective.
Okay, so that's with regards to where CDSL and hold is the view coming in where charts are concerned. The next question is from Rakesh, who's writing in from Bengaluru. He's holding 100 odd shares of Tata Motors at an average price of 748 for the last 250 odd days. Wants to know if you can hold or sell and what could be a good target price for this particular counter. Shana is sitting on a loss of 7,000 odd rupees right now. Would you recommend him to continue to hold Tata Motors?
Yeah, he can continue to hold Tata Motors. I believe while there has been some issue with JLR in terms of China sales, but I think the prospects are good. The tariff settlement between UK and India will be a positive for Tata Motors going forward. And in terms of the reorganization of the company, that is very much on the cards, that they're going to divide the company into the PV, in the two segments, in the HCV PV segments. So to that extent, I think it will be a positive value unlocking for investors. So you can continue to hold Tata Motors.
Okay, continue to hold Tata Motors is the view as things stand right now. Rakesh is calling us from Vijayawada. Rakesh, very good morning to you. How can we help you today?
Actually, I have a call pal.
Okay, Colgate Palmolive, yes.
2420.
Yes.
A very short term. Today is very drastically fall down around 55 rupees, while other assets are going up.
Yeah.
Any reason?
Okay.
Any idea?
Okay.
Or should I hold or should I sell it?
And
if I'm getting some loss around 11,000.
Okay. So Rakesh, how long do you intend to hold this for?
Hardly 1 month.
Hardly 1 month. Okay. So Kush, on the charts, what should he do? He's worried about the losses that he's incurring today.
I think he should continue to hold. The near-term trajectory has turned bearish, but the stock on much smaller time frames is starting to go into oversold territories from where it could see a rebound. I'll give a slightly deepish stop loss from where the stock has rebounded, and that comes close to the 2300 mark. One reason why the stock is seeing some pressure today is also could also well be the monthly expiry and the rollover activities that are playing up. But as long as 2300 is held, I think the stock could see some sort of a short covering bounce as well. So yes, continue to hold, but the near term stop loss or support zone on this one is 2300.
So that's the regards where Colgate stands. Our next question is on another FMCG company, that is HUL. Mohammad Ishaq has bought at the levels of 2,500. He's not given us the number of shares that he holds, but wants a view on this particular counter. Shahina, yesterday, they announced about how Unilever as a parent company is selling its ice cream business to Magnum, and how that Quality Walls share will now go to Magnum Limited. Just want to get a sense as to how, entire rural picking up plus urban slowing down, and of course demand recovery to be seen in this particular year. How are you reading that for the FMCG companies and HUL in particular?
Well, I think there is a pickup both in rural as well as I think urban is doing pretty okay. Monsoons are good. HUL, there is restructuring in terms of the ice cream business, as you just mentioned. And even in the India business, there will be a restructuring where the investors would probably get the share of the transfer of the business, ice cream business, going forward. So to that extent, I think HUL, it's always expensive, but it is showing some bit of consolidation in terms of stock price. If I'm a long-term investor, I would remain invested.
All right, so that's the view on HUL. All right, I do want to take the next question, particularly because it's very late in Florida, where Mehta is tuning in. Mehta says that he's writing in from Florida, and he's got Anupam Rasayan. He's got a significant quantity, 50,000 shares at a price of 707 rupees per share, and he's sitting on a profit of 2.1 crore rupees. Kush, he's asking for a suggestion as to what he should do right now. Should he book out and move to something else, or should he add more?
It would not be a bad idea to book out because the stock has seen, Alex, a near vertical rise from precisely those 700 levels. So Mehta's splendid buy, and kudos to the courage to hold on to this one as well. But now the stock's gone into overheated territories, not only on the daily time frame, but also on the weekly time frame, which suggests that profit booking could be around the corner. For the last few sessions, the volumes have been thinning. A couple of sessions of profit booking also kicking in. Not a bad idea to take money home partially, at least about 75%, if not completely. And if you're booking it partially, then for the rest of the quantity, the trailing stop loss I would suggest would be at 1050.
Okay, so that's the view with regards to Anupam Rasayan stand, and sell is the view where charts are concerned. Our next caller, Shankar, is calling in from Kolkata. Shankar, hi, a very good morning to you. I believe you have a question on Berger Paints.
Very good morning, madam.
Good morning.
50 shares of Berger purchased at 507 rupees.
Okay.
I had wanted to hold it for long term of 2 years, but because of the crude fluctuation, the stock is a bit unstable. So should I hold it or should I book profits?
Okay, got your question, Shankar. Shaina, what's the quick view for Berger Paints? What he's saying is that crude prices are going up, but now they've stabilized to some extent. What's your view like? From a 2-year perspective, should he continue to hold Berger Paints? It's seeing market share gains.
Yeah, I think you can continue to hold. In terms of crude, as you mentioned, crude prices have come off and are stabilizing. So I would say continue to hold. Most of the sectors are, in terms of auto, they are likely to do better in the current year in terms of consumer durables. So it's a hold. Also, in terms of competition, yes, you have big competition coming in the paint segment, but I think Berger Paints is likely to hold its market share. So it would be a hold with a 2-year perspective.
Okay, it is now time for the rapid fire round, and both of you know, as Ask Profit veterans, Shahina and Kush, you know what this entails. Let me start the first question with Ashok Reddy's question on Ircon International. He's been holding for 8 months and he's asking whether he can hold for another year. He's bought at levels of 250 rupees per share. Kush?
Yeah, continue to hold, keep a stop loss at 185.
Okay, the next question is on Sensera Engineering. Shrikant from Bengaluru has bought it at an average price of 1200. Should he continue to hold, Shahina?
Pass, I don't cover it.
Kush, your quick view? Sensera Engineering. Yes.
Yeah, I'd say continue to hold, keep a stop loss at about 1290.
Okay. Geo Financial Services bought at levels of 320. Would you hold for the long term? Abhilash wants to know. Shahina?
Yes, it's a hold. I had already recommended it as a buy, so it's a hold.
Okay, E2E Networks is the next counter. Ananta is holding at the price of 2798 and 18 is the quantity. Kush, on the charts?
Exit.
Tanla Platforms is the name of the counter and is, okay, I don't have a, no, this is not a question. Axelia Solutions, if we have a view, 1891 is a buy price. Kranti Kumar wants to know whether it should be held or exited. Kush?
I'd suggest a hold, keep a trailing stop loss at 1350.
The next question is on HAL. Venkat from Andhra Pradesh is holding 8,000 shares at an average price of 3608. Has already, okay, he's saying he's already sold 7,000 odd shares, but still holding 1,000 odd shares. Shaina, your view on HAL?
Yeah, he can continue to hold.
Okay, Vipin Paulos is writing in from Liverpool in the United Kingdom and asking about in IGIL, which is bought at levels of 552.9 rupees per share. Kush, should he hold?
should ask him if he is a fan of Liverpool as well, like you are.
Next time.
But IGIL, not really doing much. I would suggest an exit. But if you do want to hold, then keep a stop loss at 3 points.
Yeah, well, he's from Liverpool. He could well be an Everton fan. Let us know what you are actually, Vipin, or if you watch football in the first place. But thank you so much, Kush, as well as Shaina, for joining us today. Always a pleasure having you on the program. All right, that brings us to the end of this edition of Ask Profit from Mahima and myself and the team that put this show together. Thank you so much for watching. Hope it's been useful to you. Do stay tuned. Up next is New York Company, and this is NDTV Profit.
Sambhav Steel Tubes Limited now proposes an initial public offering of its equity shares. The 100% book built offer is being offered at a price band of Rs 77 to Rs 82 per equity share of face value of Rs 10 each. Offer opens on Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. Offer closes on Friday, June 27th, 2025. For risk involved and other details, please refer to